So I'm going to Abam Salu from Deborah Marcos University. And there are also another co-author from Addis Ababa University, which called Professor Makbu. So I'm going to present an article entitled with the effect of folic acid supplementation on congenital heart defects. It is a systematic review and meta-analysis article. And our presentation has actually an introduction, objective, method, result, and finally conclusion. So as part of introduction, congenital heart defect, or these are the structural problem of the heart that are detected prenatally at birth or later in life. And these congenital heart defects are the most common congenital anomaly, which accounts for around, on average, 8 per 1,000 live births, or approximately 1% of live births worldwide. And we can get several trial and epidemiological studies which consistently documented the relationship between maternal folic acid supplementation and neural tube defects. But the existing literature or articles regarding with the association between conceptual folic acid supplementation and the risk of congenital defect are contradicting. And because of this, we are obliged to conduct basically this systematic review due to the presence of the contradicting findings. That means some of the findings are reporting positive association between the supplement and the congenital defect, and the others are reporting the negative association. And some of the findings existed are reporting no association. And we suspect probably this contradicting finding or inconsistent findings may be attributed to the inadequate sample size. So the aim of this systematic review and meta-analysis was to estimate the full effect of this preconception folic acid supplementation on congenital heart defect using those study sample size. When they have been added, it becomes large sample size, so that the inadequacy of the sample size may be solved by addition of those articles sample size, which just make large, basically. So as a method, we do have search strategies and study selections. As a search strategies, the following databases are systematically searched, basically, to access those articles published up to March 2021. And those databases are PubMed, Web of Science, Cochrane Library, and Google Scholar. And the potential eligible studies were selected based on the 3 steps. The first step is by using the title alone. The next stage is by using abstract. And the third one is by using or by reading the full articles based on the set inclusion and exclusion criteria. So we have followed these 3 steps in order to include those articles, which is just appropriate for our review. So our inclusion and exclusion criteria or eligibility criteria were, as an inclusion criteria, we have used those studies with just RCT in design, cohort, case control studies, which is just demonstrated the association between the maternal conceptual folic acid supplement and congenital heart defects overall, or any subtype of the congenital heart defects, published in English language, report the risk ratio or odds ratio with a set 95% confidence interval, or provided error data from which we can calculate R or odds ratio with the corresponding 95% confidence interval. And in case of case control studies, the defined case groups were patients having congenital heart defect, and those conversion groups or as a control group were people without the congenital heart defect overall or any subtype of congenital heart defect was our inclusion criteria. Our exclusion criteria for the articles were those articles reported the value of RR or odds ratio without confidence interval, or we could, on those articles, we are not able to obtain from by using the raw data. and those articles reported on multivitamin supplement and which didn't clearly reported whether the supplement include folic acid or not. Those reviews, animal studies, editorials, clinical answers, case reports, meeting abstract, commentaries, and those studies whose data were vague were not included in this study. Our data abstraction and statistical analysis, data extraction or abstraction were done using or preparing template on Excel. And it's important to start for Windows version 14 for analysis. And using this data version 14, we have calculated the full defect size of preconception folic acid supplement on the congenital hair defect using random effect model. So when you look at our result begin with how we are just accessing the articles using those the aforementioned databases. So we have accessed 21,942 articles by using PubMed, Web of Science, Cochrane Library, and Google Scholar, as I have already said. And from these articles, 3,200 articles were removed due to the application, and the remaining 18,742 articles were screened by the screening of or by reviewing of the title and abstract, we have removed 18,502 articles. And then what's remaining is basically 240 articles. And we have also additional 7 articles we just accessed by reviewing of reference lists of retrieved articles. And totally we have around 247 articles. And we have read the full text of these 247 articles and used inclusion and exclusion criteria so as to identify those articles that go with our title. And then based on the full text article reading, we have removed 211 articles due to irrelevant exposure or outcomes. And also we have removed 3 articles due to inappropriate reporting of exposure and outcome. And totally, we have removed 214 articles from the 147 article. And what's remaining is basically 33 articles. And we have included in the final analysis these 33 articles. And when you see the background description of these 33 included articles, the first is the publication year. And based on the publication year, those articles include this review are ranged from 1995 to 2021. And when you look at that, basically there, the area in which these included articles are done are basically more than 15% were conducted in USA and Hungary. That is 9 studies from USA and another 9 studies were from Hungary. And the remaining 5 studies were conducted in China, 3 studies in Netherlands, 2 studies from USA and Canada, 2 studies from Norway, 1 study from Denmark and Norway, 1 study from Russia, and 1 study from Northern Ireland. So these are the study area of those studies included in this review. Regarding the design, 26 of the included studies were case control in design. The remaining 5 was cohort, and the last 2 studies were RCT. Regarding the sample size of included studies, ranged from 407 with the use of case control study in USA and Canada to 984,927 participants with the use of cohort study design in Norway. In case control studies, the number of cases ranged from 37 in Hungary to 10,593 in China. And the number of controls ranged from 184 in USA and Canada to 887,580 in Norway. And when you look at the overall period of exposure for the folic acid supplement, while they were pregnant, it ranged from 3 months before to 3 months after conception, and majority of the included studies reported the risk of the folic acid supplement with the corresponding 95% confidence interval. So this is the forest plot of which shows the finding of the effect size of preconception and folic acid supplement on congenital defects. And as you can see from this forest plot, the effect size of the preconception and folic acid supplement on congenital defect is 0.79 with 95% confidence interval of 0.71 to 0.89, which is consistent findings with I-squared value of 0%. That means the heterogeneity among the studies are 0%. It means also, as I have already said, the statistical significant heterogeneity was not obtained in the overall analysis. We have performed the subgroup analysis by using year of publication, study setting, study design, and sample size. And similar with this subgroup analysis, we didn't get a statistical significant heterogeneity in the subgroup analysis as well. So, as you can see from this subgroup analysis, we have used as a variable for subgroup analysis as Euro publication, study setting, study design, and sample size, as I have already said. So as Euro publication, we have used those publications done before 2030 and those publications published by 2030 and after. And we can see from this, those publications or those studies published by 2030 and after has a statistically significant effect size of preconception folic acid supplement, but before those studies which just published before 2030 didn't show this the statistically significant association of folic acid effect size, basically of folic acid on congenital heart defect. And by study setting, we have subgrouped as those studies in USA, Hungary, China, and other remaining country studies, it means, as I have already mentioned. So those studies published in China and Hungary have showing a statistical significant effect size of preconceptual folic acid supplement on congenital heart defect. And by study design, we have also subgroup the studies as case control, cohort, and RCT, and we found then statistical significant effect size of preconceptual folic acid supplement on congenital heart defect were seen on those studies conducted through case control design, and then by sample size, both of we have used as cutoff point 4,000. Those studies conducted using less than or equal to 4,000 and greater than 4,000 samples. So both of them are showing statistical significant effect size of preconceptual folic acid supplement on congenital heart defects. And in all of this subgroup analysis, as indicated from the p-value and I-square, there is no statistical significant heterogeneity among studies. So as a conclusion and recommendation, the present study found that the present systematic review and meta-analysis found that the preconceptual folic acid supplement has a statistical significant association with that of the congenital heart defect, and by using this folic acid supplement during pregnancy, we can reduce the occurrence of congenital heart defect by 20%, as I have already shown on the forest plot. We can reduce the congenital heart defect occurrence by 20% by using folic acid supplement during pregnancy. But the status of preconceptual folic acid supplement and its impact on birth outcome among mothers living in relatively poor socioeconomic setting like Africa is not determined. As I have already shown you, the studies conducted are basically on the relatively high income countries. So we didn't have a study in poor socioeconomic setting, so that the status of the supplement as well as its impact on birth outcome is not known in poor socioeconomic settings like our country. Thus, we recommend a large cohort type or RC type of study to be conducted in order to investigate the effect of this maternal preconceptual folic acid supplement on the occurrence of her defects of various type among mothers living in poor socioeconomic setting or countries like ours. Thank you for your listening.